Welcome to Women's Health Unwrapped with Nicola Farndell, a weekly show dedicated to empowering women to unlock the secrets of true health and vitality. Join us as we unwrap what healthy living really means with guest experts and real-life stories to help you get clear on the power of building sustainable, healthy habits without the overwhelm and confusion you feel right now. It's time to strip back and lay out the truth about why taking better care of yourself is the answer to the happy, vibrant life you're striving so hard to create. Hi, and welcome to today's episode. It's just me today. I thought I would jump in and do a solo episode on something that just keeps coming up time and time again. Keep hearing that there are so many things standing in your way from helping you to build new habits, to take better care of yourself. So I'm going to give some opinion and thoughts on what's really stopping you from taking better care of yourself, because I hear, oh, it doesn't matter where I go, whether it's at a networking meeting or when I've been given a talk or doing some of the work that I do with businesses and then with my individual clients, who obviously they've made a decision that they're going to do something, but when we get into it, people say, oh, it's just too hard, or there's this reason or that reason, but there's so many things, so many barriers that are standing in the way of you taking better care of yourself. So let's have a little explore into this and uncover what those real reasons are behind why so many of you are struggling to make health changes, even when you know that you don't feel great in your life, even when you know that you can feel better, even when you really want to improve your health in whatever way you're wanting for yourself. It just doesn't happen. Now, I've been there myself. I don't know how many Mondays were going to be the Monday that I'd finally start eating healthier, or I'd finally cut out the sugary snacks, or maybe it was going to be this month I won't drink alcohol in the house on a weekend, or maybe it was that, I was going to sign up to the 5K and actually start to train and run, more than what I could. And I'd put it off and I'd put it off. And there were reasons why I kept putting it off, not just with those fun type of examples, but so many other things, especially when it came to working on my inner belief and confidence, when it came to managing my anxiety, even when I was in such a difficult place and knew that I wanted to do something, there were reasons. And those reasons weren't always the light-hearted ones we can laugh at. People saying, well, I just don't have time, or I don't know what to do, or I'm not very good at doing things like that on myself, and I've got no willpower. There were other things at play, and that's what I want to get you thinking about today. And I'm going to share a story of working with a client recently that came up when we were talking about some of her health goals. And one of the big things she wanted to work on to improve her health and achieve some of these goals was to sleep better. Now, when we worked on what was standing in the way of her getting good quality sleep, one of the things that came up was that although she was going to bed at what she thought was an early time, and she actually said it to me like, yeah, I go to sleep at about 10:15. Most nights I'm in bed at time. Okay. So we probed what was happening, and she talked about scrolling on social media when she got into bed at 9:45. So she wasn't actually going to sleep at that time. And more often than not, she would scroll and switch the phone off at about 11:30. And then, of course, her mind couldn't switch off. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's the obvious thing. She's been on her phone, she's seeing all of this stuff, she's got the light going into her eyes and stimulating her brain, etc. Well, she can't get to sleep. But when we explored, why she was going on her phone, what came up first of all was, well, I don't have time in the rest of the day. But we dug into it. That's what I do as a coach. And what we started to unwrap was that she is going on social media because she's actually feeling very isolated. And by scrolling social media, she's seeing what people she knows are doing. She had quite a limited friendship group, but going onto social media was giving her some form of connection and validation, making her feel part of something, even though what she was seeing isn't in her real life. She's not taking part in it. But she was unaware of this herself. This was right underneath in those layers of her subconscious mind. So even though she was struggling to get up in the morning and feeling like utter crap, exhausted, in a bad mood straight away because of, the way she was feeling when her alarm went off every morning, she was still going on social media and she didn't connect those dots. It was just, well, I can't help, I have time, that's what I do to unwind and so on. Now, quite often, there are these typical reasons, as I've mentioned, that people give for not taking care of themselves. And the big ones that I hear in the work I do are lack of time. I'd say that's number one. Just being too busy with work, being too busy with kids, especially when they're young kids, which, kids create a lot of busyness and a lot of demands. Don't know where to start. So people say, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to sleep better. I don't know how to eat differently. I don't know what to do at the gym, but I know I want to get fit. And they're all very valid reasons. We all live really busy lives, but using time as an excuse is something that I want to challenge you on, because we all, and I know a lot of people hate this saying, but it's true, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. That's just life, isn't it? We all have that 24 hours in our day. But how you spend that day is your choice. And there are people who fit in the things that help them to feel healthier and more energized and more vibrant in their life. So I want to challenge those common reasons, whether it's time, whether it's knowledge, whether it's affordability, whether it's you're useless at keeping yourself, accountable or sticking to something. Let's unwrap what might be underneath that, because what sits in our subconscious mind are things called limiting beliefs. Now, limiting beliefs are rules, if you like, that we have established at some point in our life. And very often, these are in our early childhood. They're beliefs that are formed without us even being aware of it. And it's so interesting how they're formed as well, in that they can be from just the tiniest little events or ways of life that you were part of growing up as a child. Things you've inherited from your parents or other caregivers, or even maybe at school, or people who you spent a lot of time with, even things that you watched on TV, or maybe books that you read on a regular basis, just things that instilled in you something that made you think that. Now, we all have many, many, many limiting beliefs. This is part of human psyche. This is, how our brains work. They're things that are created and then lead to habits forming in how we play out. So some limiting beliefs that are simple to explain, perhaps ones, related to health, are things like, I'm not good enough. Someone thinking to themselves, well, I'm not good enough to be a person who lives a healthy lifestyle. Another one might be, I'll never be able to stick to a routine. You're telling yourself that story because there is this belief inside. Maybe it was when you were young that your parents, your mother said to you, God, you can never stick to any kind of routine. Perhaps it was just that every morning she'd be saying, you're useless at getting up out of bed. You're never in a routine. You're rushing to go to school. And that forms that belief in your mind. Again, you're not thinking consciously, well, my mum's telling me that I'm useless at getting up and I have no ability to follow a routine. And so I'm going to abide by that for the rest of my life and think that I'm no good at routines. It doesn't work like that. It's just part of life, and our brain is is sucking in, taking in all of the stuff that goes on, not just the words that are said, but everything in our environment around us as we grow up, and it creates this program. Maybe another one is, I don't deserve to be healthy. And for most people, you aren't aware that these beliefs are there. But you aren't saying out loud necessarily, I don't deserve to be healthy, or, I'll never be able to stick to a routine. But perhaps that's what's underneath the thing that is being said, like, well, I just don't have time, or I'm too busy, or I'm quite, disorganized with things, I don't know where to start. Maybe it's that underneath there's a belief there that you are a person who is very unorganized, and you have this belief that being healthy and changing habits and living that way requires someone to be super organized. One of the other things that hold many people back, and often are linked to these beliefs, but can be standalone limiting beliefs, is fear. Fear of failure, fear of success even. Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of people have that fear. Fear of change. Perhaps it's that you like the food you eat and you're thinking, well, I know that to be healthier, I definitely need to improve my diet, but that means I'm going to have to change, and I just don't know if I want to eat that type of food all of the time. And it's easy to just go to Tesco right now and grab what I grab, and now I'm going to have to start planning differently, and or take, and then all of this stuff comes up. So there are so many different fears associated with health, and I think one of the fears is that being healthy will lead to life being more dull, that it's going to limit the way you have fun, unwind, socialise. There's definitely a perception that health brings with it a negative cost. Like it's going to strip away some of the nice food you eat right now, like a pizza or the takeaways, or the bottle of wine or the glass of wine or the beers, and socialising with friends is going to be less fun because you're going to be boring now. You don't drink alcohol, or you don't drink a lot of alcohol because you're working out or you're training for a race or something like that. They're fears as well. So, you have these stories embedded in you that are leading you to think, well, when I'm trying to be healthy, it's going to mean this. Or perhaps it's just fear of success. And this is often a big one that people who want to lose weight experience. So there's lots of different ways that you can work on those limiting beliefs and work on those fears and break them down to help you get to a place where you really are clear about what's standing in the way of you taking better care of yourself. And all of this is about mindset. And if anyone is a regular listener, you know that I have mindset right in the middle of my 5 pillars of wellness. And mindset is at the core because it's everything. It doesn't matter how much information you're given, or how much perhaps working with a coach like me who might guide you with what to eat and how to work out and how to manage stress. It doesn't matter what you have in all of that information and knowledge. If your mindset isn't in positive growth type of frame of mind, then you ain't going to make any of the changes with all of that knowledge, guidance and information you have. I can't push you to do something, and that's not how I work. I want you, through your mindset and growth work, to want to do this, to know that you are capable of making lasting change, to know that you have it in you as much as the next person and the one after that and the one after that, that you are equal to everyone else and all of those people you might admire who live a healthy life that you think just isn't for you. So there are lots of techniques to shift your mindset, and this is something that's at the very core of the coaching work that I do, especially my main one-to-one program. It's about getting really clear on your goals and making them realistic and visualizing them. Now, if you haven't ever tried to visualize something, I want you to give it a go, because it is massively powerful. And there are so many stats, from research on the power of visualization. Think of someone in sport. Let's take a runner. Let's take Mo Farah. And we all know how successful he's been, how many Olympic gold medals and other goals he's won across his career. A runner like Mo visualizes that race over and over and over again. Now, they aren't simply focusing on the win, on crossing the finish line first. They are visualizing every single step, literally, leading up to the race itself. So not just the race, everything. They even visualize how they would feel if they go to put their shoes on and perhaps they're laced wrong, or there's something slightly wrong in the clothing they put on, or the weather. You know, it's everything, because the more they visualize that race and have worked through what might not go right, the more in control they are to manage anything that might come up as a hurdle and challenge in the approach to the race and then the race itself. And think about any sports professional, whether it's in tennis, in football, in golf. You, if you are a sports fan anyway, I'm sure will have heard your favourite athletes over the years talk about the power of visualization, because it works. It helps to train our brain to think that the thing we're visualizing is already so. It has happened. And so that when we are in those situations, it's experience with it. It thinks, yeah, this is fine. I've done this many times before. It knows exactly what to do. So visualization, if you seeing, not just making the changes like, oh yeah, I'm cooking that meal and I'm cutting vegetables and I'm eating this, but how you're going to feel, what that means to the rest of your life. And I do a lot of this work with clients because it's so moving and empowering at the same time, but really attaches you to the thing you want. So that's a great technique to shift your mindset. Positive affirmations are as well. They're very simple things you can say to yourself that bring the thing you're working towards into the present now. So, for example, you're someone who doesn't run right now, but you know you want to run and you want to work up to 5K, rather than saying, yeah, I'm going to get out and I'm going to go running, is shifting it to being your reality now. So an affirmation around that might be, I am someone who runs regularly and loves the feeling of moving their body through running. Or it could be completely different. I am a 5K runner who hits the 30-minute mark for a 5K race. Whatever it might be for you, you know, when it comes to, let's think of something completely different. Perhaps you're really struggling with stress and you hate the fact that you're very short-tempered around the kids at home. Maybe an affirmation to help with that could be, I am a mother who is calm, in control, and realizes that life is life, you know, because life is life and sometimes we are going to be short-tempered about it. Or it could be, I am a mother who pauses and takes control of chaotic situations with her children. Hopefully you get the drift. It's that you are that person now. You are feeling that thing or doing that thing. It is now. I'm trying to be a mother who's in control. You shift it to, I am a mother who is in control. And this is something when I work with clients, they often struggle with, because they'll say, yeah, but I'm not a mother who's in control. Okay, you aren't, but you're working on it. But it's about telling your brain that you are that now, because then your brain is going to operate, you know, press the program for being the mother who is in control. And the other thing to call out here is that your goals are realistic, because I've chatted about this on many podcasts. It comes up all of the time on my social media feed as well, in that you must make sure the goals you set when it comes to making healthy changes are realistic, because if they're too big, that is going to freeze you and keep you stuck where you are right now. So some of the practical steps to start making changes is that first one, really around making it really small and actionable to begin your health journey, so that you can get off the starting block. You want small steps to get you moving forward. It's a gradual process to build new habits. It's about consistency, it's about momentum, and it's certainly about patience and recognizing that it's going to take time. Seek help, get support, get the buy-in of people around you in your family, in your home, at work, with a coach. Let people know what you are working on and what you would like them to help with, because that is a huge part of being successful, especially when it comes to making lasting change. And that's what I want for you. Health isn't about dipping in and falling off the wagon. It's about making changes that just become a part of who you are for life. And that, I think, brings us nicely to what the topic is and where I started with, those reasons, those things that seem very valid and very real, that mean you're putting off taking better care of yourself, are things that you need to get aware of, and things that you need to think about a bit more in terms of, is that the real reason, or is there something else underneath? One of the things you could do with this is journal on it, is keep asking yourself the question, and I would guess working on this on your own, you're not going to get to that limiting belief the first time you ask yourself this question. It's going to take time. Maybe for some people it's going to take a lot of time, and maybe it's exploring it with your partner as well. I think that's a brilliant thing to do, is share with them what your thoughts are on why you can't make change or don't want to make change, and see what they pick up on, and let them ask you some questions. So I invite you, listening to this today, to dig deep with yourself. And if you have anything that comes up, if you're thinking, yeah, I keep saying I don't have time a lot of the time, or I keep telling myself that I just don't know what to do, to challenge yourself to dig into that and reach out. Let me know what comes up. What is it you're telling yourself about why you can't make changes and improve your health? And what is it about when you ask yourself questions is coming through? And does that surprise you? How does that make you feel? I'd love to connect with you. It's brilliant having you listen to the podcast and be a fan. Remember, if you haven't hit subscribe, please do subscribe, because that really will help it to be pushed out to other people, and share it with anyone that you think would benefit from hearing this episode today. We've got some brilliant episodes coming up through the rest of the summer. We've got a couple of real life stories, but linking to how you can take better care of your health. We've got Fahana coming up in a couple of weeks, talking about rebuilding your self-worth and confidence and happiness after divorce. And we've got the amazing Kate Hall, who I'm so excited to have on the podcast, helping you to use your freezer to get healthy, which you might think, oh, it's a bit of a strange topic, but Kate is brilliant. She's had some massive viral hits on her Instagram, and I just love some of her tips that she's going to give you to help you eat better, reduce waste, reduce cost, plan, budget, both financially but health-wise as a family, to get nutritious food. So if that's an area that's a challenge for you, definitely check that episode out at the end of July. And then August is going to be a menopause focus, so lots of different conversations all around perimenopause and menopause. So brilliant things to come on Women's Health Unwrapped. I hope today's episode has given you a little bit of a nudge to think and dig into those limiting beliefs. So thanks so much for having me in your ears today. And of course, you can reach out and find out more about the programs and services I provide on Instagram or on LinkedIn. That's where I like to hang out. And I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Take care and bye for now. Thank you so much for joining today. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please remember to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. It would be massively appreciated if you could leave a rating and review to help other women discover the podcast and build their own healthy, happy life. If you're struggling with the changes perimenopause is bringing your way and you're ready to reclaim your vitality, to embrace this new chapter of your life with confidence and joy, then why not download our free guide, 10 Ways to Feel Good Again, your perimenopausal revival guide. Inside, you'll get 10 proven ways to enhance your well-being and rediscover the joy of living life to the fullest. And we all want to live a great life, don't we? So download your free guide now at lifenowcoaching.uk/feel good again. The link is in the show notes. You can follow Life Now Coaching on Instagram and LinkedIn and visit our website at lifenow.uk. All of the links are in the show description. I really hope you've enjoyed today's topic and conversation and can't wait to have you back again next week for more tips on living healthy and happy right now. Take care.